Hi, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Larissa,
This is our van.
and we're selling it.
It all started in 2019 when Larissa and I looked for a van to convert into a house on wheels and travel around the US.
Since we knew we would be traveling in this van for a long time, using it as our home and office space, we knew that we wanted a new van.
We knew we wanted a high roof and a short wheelbase. A high roof because I'm pretty tall, and a short wheelbase because it's much easier to park, and we knew we would be spending a lot of time in cities.
We had our eyes on the jewel of all vans, the Mercedes Sprinter van. Finding the van with the perfect features took us a few weeks, but we finally did in November 2019.
Before we started construction, we needed to decide how our setup would be.
We knew that we needed a good setup for our daily work on laptops, a good sized kitchen, and a long enough bed.
We decided to go with a convertible setup where our working area would also become our sleeping area.
Since this would be our home on wheels for many miles, we spared no expenses and only used the best materials. In May 2021, we finally embarked on our big East Coast trip. So we did everything east of the Rockies, and then in June 2022, we did everything west of the Rockies. At the beginning of this year, we decided to move to San Diego and settle down. Our family is now growing, and we won't be using the van to the extent that it deserves.
Yeah, this is a great car and it really deserves to be in as many camping trips as possible. We just don't have the time or the energy to convert it again and add a child seat. We kept this vehicle in top shape and we followed all maintenance and service appointments, and we only use Mercedes for everything. We changed tires, we changed brake pads, and we changed rotors as needed.
This really is an amazing vehicle. It's strong, efficient, and super easy to drive.
And very reliable.
The first step was installing windows and a ceiling fan, which we learned is indispensable for good air circulation. We knew we wanted plenty of natural light inside the van, mainly so we could do some product photography for our company. However, we also wanted some privacy. So we decided to go with side windows, but no windows on the back doors. That was the best decision. We love our windows. They're from C.R. Lawrence, and we can't recommend them enough. The fan is a Max Fan Deluxe, and it's been a lifesaver.
The next step was noise deadening and floor installation. We used 3/4 inch plywood from Home Depot and hard foam for the first installation layer. On top of that, we added a layer of Reflectix. We covered the wood with a light colored vinyl floor. We wanted to choose light colors to make it feel bigger. Also, vinyl has the advantage of being very easy to clean, something essential when your kitchen and your bedroom are all in the same place. Before installing ceiling and walls, we covered the interior of the van with an insulating material called Thinsulate from 3M. For the walls, we used 1/4 inch Baltic birch plywood sheets. For the ceiling, we used cedar planks from Home Depot.
We shopped around and decided to use a modular roof rack from Illuminous. To access the roof rack, we installed a side ladder, also from Illuminous. We decided to go with the side ladder option because we had plans to install storage boxes on the back doors, and at the time we hadn't found a budget-friendly no-drill option for rear door ladders. We did much research before deciding on a single 350-watt panel from LG. This type of panel is used for house installations, and since we have a tiny home on wheels, we thought we should have the very best. It's amazing and it works very well even on partially cloudy days. With the roof rack in place, we also installed our phone signal booster. We needed to work from the road, so we chose a WeBoost Drive X RV kit. It comes with an antenna that we installed on the roof rack and an amplifier that goes inside the van. This works, and it has given us at least 2 signal bars when needed most.
Now it was time to build cabinets. That includes the overhead compartments, kitchen galley, toilet galley, and the whole structure for the bed. We We use 2x2-inch boards for the structure and Baltic birch plywood for the sides and doors. The kitchen has room for a fridge, our two 5-gallon gray water tanks, and for a lot more. We went with a stainless steel Rivati sink and a Cruise 85 Clean Touch stainless steel fridge with freezer from Isotherm. The fridge is amazing. To save countertop space, we opted to have an induction plugged-in stovetop instead of a fixed one. The upper cabinets are very secure and anchored to the van's metal ceiling. To keep the doors from opening, we use both grade 5-pound locks. For the water system, we opted for a 23-gallon water tank next to the wheel well. This is how it works. We have a water inlet on the driver's side of the van, and we can fill the tank with our food-grade hose. The hose has a pressure regulator, a sieve, and an activated charcoal filter. After going through the hose, the water gets into the tank. From there, it can go directly to a second filter, then the sink, or to our outdoor shower in the back of the van. The whole system requires a little peristaltic pump that works wonderfully well. The water used in the kitchen is collected in two 5-gallon gray water tanks under the sink. We need to empty those at dump stations now and then. Because the whole system is inside the van, we don't have to be worried about camping in colder climates since no water lines risk freezing and bursting. Regarding the drinking water, we have a little water filter from Berkey with 2 charcoal filtration units. We use that water for drinking and ice making, and sometimes cooking.
We decided to go with a well-known bed seating area setup. We made seats in a U shape with plenty of storage underneath for the electrical system, water tank and pump, bed sheets, and some food. In the middle, we put a lagoon swivel table that also serves as part of the bed. Another reason we went for this U shape is that Tom's a pretty tall guy, and the van is not wide enough to allow him to sleep in the wall-to-wall direction. Therefore, he needs to sleep lengthwise.
For our electrical system, we went with the best equipment on the market that fit our needs. We decided to go with a single 350 watts monocrystalline solar panel from LG, a 130 MPPT solar charge controller from Victron, a 2000 watt charger inverter from Victron, and 2 100 amp hour lithium batteries from Battleboard, our Sterling battery to battery charger, cables, breakers, and fuses. The battery charges in 3 ways: via solar panel, short power through the inverter charger, and the car's alternator when the car is running. We have never had any problems with only 2 batteries. The things that use the most energy are the water cooker and the induction stove. We also left enough room in case another battery needs to be added.
Very early on, we realized we might have too many things to store inside the van, and the solution was to get an outside storage box for our water hose, the electrical cable, the toolbox, shower shoes, and other things that we didn't want to keep inside the van. We opted for a box from Illuminous on the passenger side. The box frees up so much space under the seats, I can't imagine how we would have traveled comfortably without it. For the driver's side, we opted for a rear door rack where we packed our inflatable kayaks during our trip. It would be easy to install a second box to the rack if needed.
One of the luxuries of van life is that you get to go wherever the weather is good. However, that's only sometimes possible, and we wanted the flexibility to camp with our van in different climates. That meant we needed ways of heating and cooling the inside of the car as we needed. For the heater, we went with a well-known equipment, the Aspar D2. This little diesel heater is very good. It can heat the van in 2 to 3 minutes. We followed what many others do and installed it under the passenger seat, where there is much space. The installation was easy. The heater taps into the diesel tank with a little pump. There is an air intake and an exhaust. All of that is installed under the van. The AC was a different issue. Our battery bank is too small to handle an AC unit, so we can only use it when it can access short power. The smallest unit we found reasonably priced was a Black & Decker. This was a lifesaver when we were in Florida for a month. We plugged it in, connect the exhaust hose to the window, and blast cold air inside the car. With such a small space, it works wonders, but you need short power. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about our van and our trip, we created a website, it's hubihouse.com. We will have the information in the description below.
And on the website, you'll find a build section, so you'll see how the van was constructed and also some photos of our trips, so you can kind of get a vibe for yeah, what you can use the van for, where you can take it, things like that.
Yeah, and like we said, we're local to the San Diego area, so if you're ever interested in seeing the van in person, we can definitely schedule that in. On the website we also have a contact us form with our phone number. It's also going to be on the description below. And like we said, we're just selling the van because, you know, our family is growing and we don't think we're going to have enough time to enjoy this car the way it should be enjoyed.
But it will be greatly missed.
It will be very missed.